Hello, this is James. The Gladiator Beasts have returned to the Coliseum with their new support just in time for the KC Cup, and we are going to build our deck and we are going to take a look at some spicy replays. But first, for those that don't know, very quickly, Gladiator Beasts, they're monsters that when they are attacked, they can, as long as you protect them, as long as they're not destroyed, they attack or are attacked, they can shuffle back into the deck, and you can pull out other Gladiator Beasts that have effects when they're summoned. So the major ones are Bestiarri. When it's summoned that way, you destroy back row. Murmillo, when it's summoned that way, you can destroy a monster. And then you have other ones like Laquarri. It doesn't do anything to the field, it just powers itself up. With Gladiator Beasts, it's nice because even if you didn't get all the rares that you needed, you can tech them in because every Gladiator Beast is searchable by every other Gladiator Beast, with one exception. So our basic Gladiator Beast, we're going to have a Darius. This guy, when he's special summoned, we can revive Gladiator Beast from the deck. That's going to let us go into our big Gladiator Beast fusions. Laquarri for the extra power. Bestiarri and Murmillo are going to be our main heavy lifters. Bestiarri removing back row, Murmillo removing monsters. Optimally, you would have 2 Murmillo, but I only have the 1. We're also going to be using the new support. We're going to have 3 Hoplomas. The reason we're going heavy on the Hoplomas is look at this 2100 attack point bootay. That makes Hoplomas self-sufficient. You don't necessarily have to expend your resources, your back row, in order to protect Hoplomas. You set him face down, the opponent attacks into him with pretty much any 4-star monster. He shuffles back in, and then you can immediately start disrupting your opponent's plays. And he is the exclusive way to special summon Gladiator Beast Spartacus. When this card is special summoned by Gladiator Beast ways, you can add a Gladiator Beast equip spell card from your deck to your hand. The equip spell of choice for Gladiator Beast, that new support, Gladiator Beast Battle, Archfiend Shield. We equip this to a Gladiator Beast. If the equipped monster would be destroyed, destroy this card instead, and this is going to let us be very active with our Gladiator Beast. We have to set them and wait, and then, protect them with the old traps the way we used to. Archfiend Shield onto our Gladiator Beast and attack into the opponent, and then you lose the Archfiend Shield, but you get to immediately start to break up your opponent's board. And that's also why we're using Holy Guard. Holy Guard protects our life points from our monsters on attack. So even with a Hoplomas in the attack position, but Hoplomas is protected, and then you can swap out. You can swap out for your other guys. We're also going to go heavy on that Berserk Scales. Target one face-up monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack. Cannot attack your opponent directly, but during the end phase of this turn, it loses 2,000 attack. So previously, this was only good with the woman, the swords woman. But with Gladiator Beasts, if they get a successful attack, if they're not destroyed, they're not sticking around for that downside. They're not sticking around for that minus 2,000 attack. And then we're also going to be using some of the back row. And the nice thing about having these cards that we can use with Gladiator Beasts now is that we can go easy on the heavy back row that the Gladiator Beasts frankly require. So as many walls of D's and as many Floodgate trap holes as you have, but then you can toss in other stuff that is also useful. So Canadia, similar purpose to Floodgate trap hole, and Widespread Ruin. Let's take a quick look at our extra deck. So we have Neurokius, 3 Gladiator Beasts on the field. You can shuffle them all back into the deck, and you can bring out Neurokius, who is basically an Ancient Gear Golem. If this card attacks or is attacked, so he's better, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. I feel like Neurokius is even better than Heraklinos, because by the time that you're getting out Heraklinos, unless you're facing a very weak opponent, you don't have cards to discard for his effect, and also I don't have Heraklinos. But that new extra deck monster, Gaio Diaz, requires Spartacus plus another Gladiator Beast monster. When this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the defense of the destroyed monster. So that can make the difference, because 2,600 is a very interesting number. 2,600 means that if your opponent has a defense position, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Gaio Diaz can destroy that with its 2,600 attack and get a big life point damage on your opponent. So this deck took me from I was about level 7 to 13, 14 with the Gladiator Beast. So they're good for ranking up, and they're fun to play. Very simple playstyle. You just set your monster, protect it, or go on the offensive. You know, with this new support, you do have options. Okay, here we're going second against Aster Phoenix, which is not terrible because Gladiator Beast, they used to be a trap deck. You always want to go first, set up your traps. But with cards like Archfiend Shield, we can go on the offensive. And another nice thing about Archfiend Shield is if the monster's not destroyed and it shuffles back into the deck, destroyed, you get your Archfiend Shield back. And here we're just going to pull apart this masked hero board with our Bestiarri, best boy, getting rid of that back row. And we have a big Laquarri. Opponent activates Destiny Calling, but we have, okay, we're good, we're safe, we're safe. So Gladiator Beast, all about managing the resources. Cider comes back to the hand. Now what just happened with that Widespread Ruin? What happened with that Widespread Ruin is that we beat out Mask Change. Because Widespread Ruin does not target, the opponent can't chain the Mask Change to save their monster. If they Mask Change, then Anki gets destroyed. So they just save themselves the spell card. Alright, so this is our turn, and then we're going to hit that, and then we're going to hit that. Easy game, easy life. Here we're going second against Yami Yugi with the Yami skill. We have Hoplomas, we have that Berserk Scales, and we have the Archfiend Shield, and the opponent has Cosmo Brain opening without Trick of the Sleeve. Very surprising, and that's the power of the Archfiend Shield. All it does is it costs us one card to destroy the opponent's card, and again, unlike Super Rush Headlong, we get the effect. We clutch the Kuriboh, protect our Murmillo, which we wouldn't have to do if I had more of them, but I don't want to dig. We draw into the Darius, and then we attack, and then we can shuffle. So Darius for Laquarri. When in doubt, go for Laquarri, get those big attack points. And then Bestiarri, just a little bit of BM on top of that Yami field spell. And now the opponent is like, with Gladiator Beasts, the opponent runs out of cards, and then you do not run out of cards. That's the point of Gladiator Beasts, because you can just, right, your Bestiarris and your Murmillos are renewable resources. Opponent doesn't want to attack into this back row. Berserk Scales, letting us go active. Bestiarri for game. Okay, here we're going second against Chaz of Princeton, and I'm seeing some interesting decks in the KC Cup. I'm proud of the bravery. So we have a set, and that is exactly what Gladiator Beasts like to see. Usually it costs a Floodgate or a Canadian to get a monster in that position, but we can just dive in, and Gladiator Beasts don't care about the Wall of D because, again, they're not sticking around for that downside. They're just getting in and getting out. Opponent has Enchanted Fitting Room, gets a green, blue doesn't count, and then the trap doesn't count. So he gets out his green. I originally thought that this was maybe my farm deck, but we're going to have the full set of Ojams onto the low defense point Laquarri. Oh, and the Berserk Scales. Isn't that super nice? And we also, with a little help from the Wall of D, to get that extra damage. Archfiend Shield, we're going to shuffle in. Archfiend Shield comes back when the monster shuffles, and then we have the Murmillo. We're going to hit this final resource. So this is how Gladiator Beasts play. Opponent has one resource. Murmillo and Kuriboh are friends. Opponent has one resource, and we're gonna BM Bestiarri onto the field spell, and we still have 4 resources. The only downside with Spartacus is that if you draw him, he has a brick. Well, here we're going first against the Taya Gardener, and I do believe that this is the battle of the Holy Guards. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad I'm so happy when I get useful skills on characters that have no skills, and then now I can use Luna and Gladiator Beasts in the KC Cup, get more skills on Luna. So, enemy Gladiator Beast, Berserk Scales, is going to let us go on the offensive. 2500 beats 1600 through a 1 monster wall of the D. We're going to search that Laquarri because he's bigger than any of the Gladiator Beasts that you can normally summon. Rush recklessly, using our own tactics against us, but you know, you rush recklessly. That's an old super rare. You got to go with that new free to play. You got to go with that Berserk, go Scales, getting the damage. Well, no damage because of the Holy Guard, but the opponent just is embarrassed and surrenders. Well, here we go in second against Yusei Fudo. Yusei Fudo has like a number of decks now associated with him because he has ties that bind. So sometimes people run furries, sometimes people run aliens. All right, so we play our Darius, and he immediately gets floodgated. We have the for hires, and we have the full for hires. Searches the Dyna, and I made this call on stream. Tributes for the Dyna, so easy. Ties that binds, and that's where the wall of D comes in clutch. Always whiz. There's no reason to not go whiz. Paleozoic Canadia, extra protection for the Darius. I wanted to go Spartacus. I wanted to go into Murmillo, but Bestiarri is the right play. We're gonna hit that low defense point, and see all this shuffling, removing all of the opponent's resources. Hoplomas going back, and we have Yusei Fudo defeated. So, Gladiator Beasts are a great way to learn about Duel Links. You have a toolbox of resources that you can call upon at will, and they teach you how to utilize those resources effectively. Thank you for watching.